Hello!
Hello!
And nice to meet you, Patrick.
Nice to meet you too.
Hey. And we are already friends in this too as well.
Yes.
Oh, the first, I would like you to introduce yourself to the camera just really quick.
Hello, my name is Patrick.
Oops, that's it.
I'm an English teacher here in Japan. I've been here for 6.5 years.
Wow, that's quite long. And Michael?
So I'm Mike. I guess I'm a TikToker as well.
Yeah.
I just teach English all the time, 24 hours a day. I've been in Japan 10 years.
Wow. 6 years, 10 years, and you go still.
5 and a bit.
You're also English teacher as well, right?
I try to be. And
Wow.
TikToker
And
and
TikToker.
Instagrammer.
Oh. So today, I would like to talk about some experience. What's your difficulties when living in Japan? Because I have some experience studying abroad in overseas, like in New Zealand or America or England. That was so amazing, but there are many difficulties. So maybe I thought I could talk about that.
It's hard to meet Japanese people and like maintain a friendship with them.
Whoa.
Because Japanese people are, very, reserved and
Okay.
they're just not very outgoing. And so when you meet them, you might exchange line information, but you're not really going to hang out anytime after that first initial time that you meet. Unless you're really, really intentional and like you're kind of pestering them to hang out or something.
To become friends is shorter time in the West than it is in Japan. So like I went to the bathroom and I overheard some people talking Spanish and we talked about everything in those 2 minutes waiting.
Ooh.
Like I talked about my mom, he talked about his mom, and yeah, we're very, very open very quickly compared to the time it takes to build a friendship. Like that, right? That current, right? So like for you, like let's say like we become really, really good friends, right? Like I would call you at 2 o'clock in the morning, like, yo, Pat, I'm super sorry right now. I'm crazy drunk, but can you come pick me up in Roppongi, take me home? You would be pissed. You would be so mad, like I'm gonna kill you, but I'm on my way, right? And in here, like the culture is they don't want to bother you. So like Japanese person won't ask for help from you.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll burden, like it sounds kind of weird, but like even like when you're carrying packages, Japanese person like really struggle with all the packages. Be like, let me help you. Like, no, I got it. And you clearly know they don't have it, but they don't want to bother you. So that's actually really different. That's still difficult for me to this day to kind of comprehend. Like they don't want to bother you truly. Like if they feel that it's a inconvenience to you, they don't ask. And that to me is really different. Because back home, like I used to inconvenience my friends constantly, and they used to inconvenience me. Like it was constant. Like I'm gonna kill you for this, but I'm on my way. And that's really difficult for me.
Do you agree with this opinion?
I've seen it, for sure. I've seen it. It depends on the person, obviously, but I've definitely seen this becoming more common than.
Pat, you worked at school as well.
It was a kindergarten, a private kindergarten that also had kind of like Eikaiwa style elementary classes after school.
Okay.
I've never worked in like a normal public school, elementary or high school or middle school.
But the kindergarten.
The kindergarten, yeah. I mean, based on what my students have told me from their schools, and I'm sure you guys would or have heard the same thing, students study a lot here. Like, so much time is devoted to their homework and studies. Like, and a crazy amount of time is dedicated to that. In the U.S., I think a lot of places in the West
They don't.
not nearly the same amount of time. Is
They give
devoted.
more personal time. Like we have a lot of more time to ourselves to do whatever we choose, like creative time, however you want to spend it. Your parents are gonna complain that you're not spending it wisely ever, but to do whatever you want to do is more personal time than here. Very
Spending time
social.
with your friends or something like that is very common.
Yeah.
In middle school, you can join some kind of club if you want to in the U.S.
Yeah.
as opposed to like Japan, where
We need to
you have to be a
mandatory,
part
yeah.
of some sort of club.
Yeah.
That's just one example of like how different it is and
Oh.
how much some things are required here that just aren't in the U.S.
Another thing that I would say, like in both school that I've noticed and even just in general, is like we say our personal opinion often, even though it's contradicting. So like if Pat says something, like even though like Pat knows that I don't like that or that Stu doesn't like it, like we're still open to say like, oh, this is how I feel, even though he knows that I think differently, and he's okay to like raise his voice at me like, no, you know, like this is the way, and I'm like, no, and we're not necessarily arguing, but we are arguing. It's just saying your opinion, and we do get kind of like emotional, and I know that when I get like that with like Japanese people, they get nervous or scared that like I want to fight. It's not like I want to fight. It's just like I get really excited when I say my emotion. I'm in the moment. You can definitely see the change in someone after that. I've definitely lost Japanese friends because I say my opinion. Definitely.
That's my
100%.
concern. As you know, like the Japanese people don't tell our honest like feeling or thoughts or like something like that. But I thought this is because all the school things. Is there any classes to debate or to discuss or tell your opinions in the classroom or something like that? We don't have one. That's how maybe.
But also like
education.
I've talked about this topic quite often. So, but if like you look at besides like math and science, which is very facts based, when you look at any other class, like in my school, like if it was 4 questions, one of them was opinion based.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like it wasn't really what you put. You had to say your opinion and why you said it. So like we've been asked for our opinion all the time, and I used to teach English in America too, and we were forced upon the kids to do critical thinking skills.
Okay.
So like we have to like, why do you think like that? What is the cause of thinking like that? Like, or like if you read this story, if the boy didn't go home, what would happen? So you had to always give your opinion. So even English class was you had to give your opinion and tell you why in the story does it happen and attach it. So since we were at least in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, we've always been giving our opinion all the time. So it's actually difficult not to give your opinion.
You said you're from America and from Michigan, right? It's the same.
That's common, yeah, in schools. That's definitely more normal approach to take for.
Really? How about in England?
Yeah, same. Yeah,
Same.
exactly same.
And why are you guys so like, so for example, in the classroom, everyone say, hey, me, right? But in the Japanese classes, like it never happens. Like teacher pick up the student to let them answer.
My students, like, this is something that if I'm in a class with a group of students, the students are always looking down. They won't even look at each other. They just look down and just wait for you. In America, it's not like that. They're talking or they have something to say.
Why?
In my school, more so with the younger kids, those students tend to be very outspoken and like wanting to the teacher to call their names. We encourage them to talk, and obviously it's an English school, so we want them to use their English, and they know that, so they're going to be more willing to talk. But then when they get to like grade 4, grade 5, grade 6,
out somewhere,
right? It's like they lose that. They start to lose that, and they become really self-conscious and more just self-aware of themselves and their classmates, and so they don't really speak out as much.
I think like as kids grow older though, they do generally go back a bit more intrinsic
100%.
in general, but here more so maybe earlier.
Yeah.
I advise like people who are watching your channel, open up a picture book and say, just look at a picture book and try to talk for 5 minutes and create a story with one photo. And it's very, very difficult. It's not language. I don't think it's language at all. I think it's communication and finding personal opinion and being able to speak like that. And not being afraid to just say your opinion.
Oh, so
He has to
right?
go.
So at the end, thank you.
Thank you.
You need to leave it as soon as possible. But thank you. I've got many things that I wanted to talk with you, but because of the time, I came here late, and I'm so sorry for that. But
You're very Western for that.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty Western.
Very Western of you of being
Really?
late.
Yeah.
Usually, what happens in the West is, hey, what time are you going there? I'm gonna be there at 9. Okay, I'll be there at 9-ish. Especially for a party, nobody wants to be the first one at the party. Nobody.
That's a good shout.
Nobody. Clubs don't even open till midnight in New York.
Awkward, isn't it?
Like, who goes to a party? Who's the first one at the party? I don't want to be him.
No one wants to be the first one. No one wants to be. Last week, I went to a birthday party with my coworkers.
happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, it was my coworker's birthday and mine on the same day. So we both. And then I still came later than I was originally planning to. I was the first one to show up to his house. Oh no, what do I do?
That's funny.